Hello guys, I'm V Sai Srinivas of 10th class from Matman. So today I will be explaining today's editorial. So let's get started. So today our editorial's title is The Cusp. India must press ahead with vaccination to avoid repeat of troubles of the second wave. August has begun on a disconcerting note in India's coronavirus story. The 7-day weekly average of cases hovers around the physiologically important 40,000 mark, and there is an uptick in daily new cases with the latest numbers a little over 41,000. A major concern is that it has been assumed by national proportions in the trajectory of cases in Kerala, with nearly 20,000 fresh cases being added every day. It is of concern that if a state with an admirable track record during the earlier wave is under siege now, then many other states could be particularly vulnerable against new variants at the start of a third wave. In Kerala, the rise in cases is concomitant with a rise in testing that has increased from 130,000 a day on July 25 to 162,000 as of Monday, indicating that the infection may be rapidly spreading. Nearly 11 states are now showing a weekly increase in cases. Kerala is not the only point of concern. The national situation has prompted the Health Secretary to write to states that all districts reporting positivity rate of more than 10% in the last few weeks are to consider strict restrictions to curtail the movement of people and formation of crowds to prevent the spread of infection. Apart from Kerala, these include Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh, and Manipur. The Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) has expressed concern that 46 districts are showing more than 10% positivity, while another 53 districts are showing a positivity between 5 to 10%. The ICMR's flag waving comes in the context of the agency's fourth national serology survey, finding that nearly 40 crore Indians likely lacked antibiotics to the virus and were particularly vulnerable. On its own, the rise in infections would have been less of a concern had a substantial number of Indians, particularly those over 45, being double vaccinated. As in previous waves, the elderly continue to be the most vulnerable. Nearly 80% of the mortality was from these vulnerable age groups, and only 11% of the eligible adults have been fully vaccinated, which means significant numbers of the population are yet to be sufficient protection. India had so far administered 47.1 crore doses since the beginning of the vaccination drive in January. The center has said it will vaccinate all adults, 94.4 crore approximately, by the year end. This target requires a daily inoculation of 90 lakh to 100 lakh doses per day. For what most of the July, the average inoculations have ranged from 30 to 60 lakh. States whose districts are most vulnerable are to be given preference, and there should be accelerated campaigns to double inoculate the elderly. Every effort should be made to break the link between infections and hospitalization and deaths. So guys, this editorial is regarding the vaccination policy of India. India must administer more number of doses per day and should move ahead with the vaccination so that they can avoid the troubles caused because of the second wave of coronavirus. In August, that is this month, some of the events were disconcerting. or disconcerting. It means disturbing. So the 7-day weekly average of cases is around 40,000 per day. But this week there was an increase in the daily cases. So they show that the number of cases are 41,000 per day. A major concern of this problem is the number of cases in Kerala alone are over 20,000 per day. So the state with an admirable track record in the first wave is under huge trouble right now. They were able to counter the first, but to the second they weren't able to counter it. States could be vulnerable against new variants. So these new variants could lead to the start of a third wave. So the uptick in cases might be because of the increase in the number of COVID tests per day. So about more than 30 to 40,000 coronavirus tests has been increased in Kerala since July 25. So it might be because of that the number of cases are more. The infection in Kerala might be spreading rapidly. So in India, about 11 states are showing an increase in the cases weekly. Kerala is not the only concern. The health secretary wrote a letter to the states that all the districts that are reporting more than 10% positivity rate should strict or make their restrictions stringent. So stringent means very strict. So the states not only include Kerala but also other states such as Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Andhra Pradesh and Manipur. Out of all these states, about 46 districts are showing more than 10% positivity, and another 53 districts are showing a positivity between 5 to 10%. So, according to the 4th National Serology Survey, they found out that 40 crore Indians are lacking antibodies to the virus, and they are the ones who are particularly vulnerable. The elderly or the people who are above the age of 60 to 50 are the most vulnerable to the virus. Their antibodies and immunity system is weak, so that they will be very vulnerable. They must be highly cautious. And to the age group above 45 is too risky because there are about many Indians who lack antibodies. So 45 years is like a bit younger than old age. So 80% of the mortality rate was from these two age groups. India has so far administered 47.1 crore doses since the beginning of the vaccination program in January.